Where am I?
Oh, you think
Hello.
that's a can? Buddy, get a load of this.
Ooh, nice. A little bit of spillage there, or
Yep,
you good?
I'm good. Oh man, if only we
This
had
is
a video
getting
episodes.
sexual
Yeah,
very
the video
quick.
episodes would have really. The fans would have loved that from me. I think
That was a lot to take in.
you're telling me
9
it
in
was
the
a lot of foam.
Yeah. Are you shaking up your cans? Do you get pre-shooken cans?
No, this is the nitro brew Pepsis, which are incredibly foamy.
It looks like it.
Yeah, it's got a good head on it.
Ooh, you got
Actually,
like a mason jar? Look at you.
Mm.
I feel like I'm talking to...
The 1% over here.
Yeah, I was trying to think of a good name. I was
John
going to say Zoe
Coke
Deschanel.
himself. I guess that'd be John Pepsi. Whatever.
Well, John Coke could drink a Pepsi.
Yeah, wouldn't it be funny if
David
the guy
Coke.
who like the Coca-Cola family were like, actually, we prefer Pepsi products.
Like, yeah, we have to push Coke, but like once Pepsi came out, we were like, fuck.
Yeah, once Pepsi came out.
Once they figured out Pepsi, they're like, dang it. They did it better.
I typed in when did Pepsi and it auto-corrected to when did Pepsi come out. 1898, Caleb Bradham created Pepsi Cola.
Kayla Brown? She's off the chain.
Caleb Bradham.
When did
Coke come out?
Coca-Cola start? 1886, May 8th.
86 versus... No, okay, so the guy who made Pepsi was like, well, what if I just make Coke but a little different?
Yeah. John Doctor. Okay.
Was his name John Coke?
His name is Dr. John Coke. Can you believe it?
I can.
You shouldn't. It's interesting that this is not the first doctor that's invented a soda.
Well, they were like medicinal back in the day, right?
I guess.
Because they loaded them up with like weird herbs and like cocaine. I mean, they're kind of like elixirs. Honestly, sodas are like the Dark Souls Estus flask.
Is Caleb Bradham a doctor? Does he have a PhD?
It didn't say doctor in the thing, so...
Yeah. He is a pharmacist. So... Wait. He developed and began serving a carbonated drink he called Brad's Drink.
And then
Your
he's
name's
like,
Caleb
let's change this to
Bradham, and you're
Pepsi.
like, this is Brad's Drink. Come on, dude. You already have a first name.
This is Bad Boy Crimes, the official soda podcast.
Yeah. I did want to do a quick apology. Last week's episode didn't post. We finally did Alligator Man. And I forgot to post the episode. And now, time keeps slipping into the future, right? It's moving forward. And we don't want to put old content out there.
I mean, so much has happened in the last week.
Yeah. Johnny Depp killed 8 people at Astroworld. I think.
How do we feel about it? Because I assume you haven't followed the trial.
No, I am
certainly
doing my
haven't
best
either.
to avoid it. I think it's very strange that people are doing fan edits of a domestic abuse trial. People are like...
Actually, it's a defamation case, but...
Whatever. I haven't followed it as closely as you, clearly.
I mean, I haven't either. It's just it pops up on Twitter. And then
Yeah,
I
it pops up
a thing, and people are like,
everywhere.
I can't believe they're doing that on a domestic abuse thing. And then there's like 3 guys who are like, actually, it's a defamation trial.
Is that what... Are people already saying that? I avoid everything as much as
It's on
I just,
every
like,
tweet where anyone says it's a domestic abuse. There's some 2 or 3 guys who are like, well, actually, and it's like, I mean, it's good to know. It's good to.
Is
I
it
guess,
good to know? I don't give a shit. I don't care. They're both bad people.
they're both bad, but people are really jumping on the opportunity to be like, sometimes
It's
women
good to
are
be bad to women.
Well, I didn't say that.
No, but that's like the ether that I get.
Well, I mean, I think part of it is like there are people who have been either emotionally or physically abused by women who like have not been heard.
Yeah, Amber
They
Heard.
have not been Amber Heard. There we go. We're on the same page. And, so I think this is like a very vindicating to be like, okay, yeah, like she's like in court, like legally bad,
Yeah.
And then I think there's some people who like, I hate women and now I am justified in doing like,
yeah.
And that's bad.
There's a lot of that.
It's all sides,
Yeah.
I don't think anybody's like against Johnny Depp. No.
Yeah, like I've seen a lot of, like, I'm on TikTok, and like every third video is just like, here's where Johnny Depp was funny in the courtroom, and then I'm gonna.
He is very charming because I did. My friend sent me one of those, and I watched it. And I'm like, he's doing bits, like he's good. I still think it's weird that we're making these videos, but
yeah, like he's just being charismatic in a courtroom, and they're like, let's do a fan edit and let's do fun music and like freeze frame on a side eye where he like looks at Amber Heard and is like, "Got you, bitch."
Johnny Depp court fan cam.
And I'm like, what are we doing? Why? Like, how many children are dying in Africa right now?
I feel like I haven't heard about children dying in Africa. Are they still dying in Africa?
I have to assume.
Is it racist to say there's children dying in Africa? Because it's like parts of Africa are probably very nice,
Absolutely, a lot of Africa is very nice.
And to just condense the many cultures and peoples of Africa to just Africa, I feel like that's a little reductive. I feel like that's a little, I think that's a little
even further.
So
We're reducing it to just children.
Yeah, and they're all
adults are also dying in Africa.
True.
I didn't say they were starving. I said that they were being murdered in a child army.
Well, I mean, is it murder if it's war?
Shoot. Yeah.
I mean, they're soldiers on both sides killing each other. It's legally not murder.
I sure.
Murder, they're killing each other. We can agree on that, but murder is a legal
definition.
Yeah. And I'm the kind of guy that gets real fucking mad when people on the internet are like, this person murdered. I'm like, well, technically they didn't. They killed them, sure, but murder is a strong word.
Technically, it's murder in the third degree. It's a little different. You wouldn't understand.
Technically, it's man's laughter.
Man's laughter. But yeah, I did want to address the whole Alligator Man thing. I don't want to rehash it. We did like a full hour on it last week.
It was like a 3-hour episode. It was frankly
it was a very long episode.
My crime was good too.
Mm-hmm. You did the cannibal, I think. Yep. Yeah. So I didn't want to we did a full we did a full hour on it. It was a very long episode, and like I forgot to post it because I was tired. And
we were busy too. We had to really thread a needle to make this work.
We really did. It was like, the saying, find a needle in a haystack. We had to find like a piece of hay in a haystack to get the correct time.
But it was a piece of hay that somebody like wrote
time
like a cipher on. And then like we had to decode the cipher after finding the hay, Yeah.
It's a very specific hay in an entire stack.
Mm-hmm. And that's tricky.
Can I just say
no?
All right.
No, go.
If I was the first person to see a haystack, stack is not the word I would use to describe
pile.
It. Absolutely, it's a pile.
Yeah, stack is strong. I mean, I guess because you can roll up hay, you know,
You could bale it.
you can bale it. Which again, I don't know. Bale. What's even a bale?
Yeah,
Christian
because
bale.
I don't know the definition of bale. I'm like, hay bale's fine.
It's probably going to be
But
like what you
I
put
do know
hay
the
into.
definition of stack, and it is not a pile. Stack and pile are
A bale
different.
is a bundle of something that's tightly wrapped and bound with cords or hoops. Okay, I guess that works.
Every time I think of the word bundle, I think of the other word that I'm not allowed to say.
Well, I mean, I think you could say it.
Yeah,
I can't.
a bundle of sticks. I remember learning that from The Simpsons as a child. Martin says it, if you believe that.
I believe it. Do people still care about saying that word? I know you're like not supposed to say it, but like, do people? I feel like
kind of.
I feel like that word's you can say it and no people will be like, I mean, don't do that, but like it's fine, you know?
I think the thing is that people don't really say it anymore, so it doesn't come up to be like, "Wow, he said it."
True. Unless and the people who are saying it are so allowed to say it. And you're almost like can you
Jay-Z.
stop? Well,
Jay-Z says it all the time.
Jay-Z can say whatever he wants.
He's married to Beyonce, so who can
And that's his
stop
only
him?
accomplishment.
Yep, it's the only thing he's ever done.
Yeah.
Like he turned 10. That was a big one in his life. He shot his own brother. That was another big one.
Did he really?
Mm-hmm.
That's a bad boy crime.
That is a bad boy crime.
Was it on purpose?
It was not on purpose.
Oh, he was just fiddling around with a gun.
I think I don't really remember the story. He talks about it a little bit in his music. Specifically,
did he kill
the
his
song,
brother, or did he just
No.
shoot? Well, then who cares?
Yeah. Specifically in the song "Kill Jay-Z," he used the phrase, "You shot your own brother. How can we trust Jay-Z?"
I mean, it's an
And then
accident. I mean, people.
I
do
looked
things on
it up,
accident.
and it was like they were in like some petty argument, and he was like 12 or something, and he didn't really know what he was doing, but like he kind of did it on purpose, but like without the intention of serious harm. It was like a warning shot that hit him.
Yeah. Or it's like your only interactions with guns have been like playing Halo, which means like you can. One shot is not going to kill anybody.
Yeah.
And he's got shields; they'll recharge. It's fine.
Yeah, Jay-Z was a big fan of Halo in 1976.
Yeah, exactly.
Was that?
I love Halo. I should buy the new one. And by the new one, I mean the one that's been out for like 6 months.
That's new.
It's the newest one, yeah.
Speaking of, I wanted to get into this as the final crime that we ever talk about. I think we're done crimes, right?
Yeah,
We're
I
over
think
it.
Season 3 is just no more crimes, and we'll see if people still listen.
It's like when Kentucky Fried Chicken had to be called KFC because they don't have real chicken or whatever. We're now. You remember that? That was this whole thing.
I mean, I remember people saying that. I
Yeah.
mean, they have real chicken.
They absolutely do. But people said that, and therefore it's real. So now we're just going to be BBC. BBC doesn't legally stand for anything anymore.
Yeah. The crimes, it's all metaphorical.
Yeah. The crimes are the friends we made along the way. This is a thing that I wanted to talk about.
Oh, wait, you remember when we talked about the tuna salad thing at Subway?
Mm-hmm.
Because I made tuna salad recently, and like, were they saying that the tuna salad wasn't like all tuna? Because like that's how tuna salad works. Like, there's other things.
The criminal court case. It was not criminal, I don't think.
It was probably civil.
Subway was suing the Canadian Broadcast Corporation, because they said
Another defamation
chicken-
trial.
defamation. I think it was actually slander that they were claiming.
Sure. Yeah.
They were saying that the chicken was not 100% chicken. It's like soy. And then I heard another story came out that all of their meat is turkey based. Like the tuna, there's no fish in it. It's actually turkey, but I don't know how true that is. I do know that their chicken is not 100% chicken, and that's fine. But the turkey thing was brought to me by a normal citizen of the world.
Okay, so this was November 12th, 2021. So this is actually very recent compared to whenever we last talked about Subway.
Yeah.
Apparently, they're saying that the tuna contains chicken, pork, and cattle DNA.
Mm-hmm. They're sending Muslims to hell over their tuna.
Sending a lot of people to hell over their tuna. All those poor pescatarians going to Subway.
Yeah.
But their website insists that Subway tuna is real tuna.
Of course it does. They also insisted that their chicken is real chicken, but you just have to look at it to know that that's not true.
Oh, okay. So they even have a fact check that thing that says the New York Times reported the Subway's premium fan favorite tuna wasn't actually tuna. That was the myth. Then their truth box says, not true. What actually happened is that the New York Times commissioned a test that couldn't detect tuna DNA in their sample. According to scientific experts, this is not unusual when testing cooked tuna, and it absolutely doesn't mean the sample that was tested contained zero tuna. So is just meat DNA testing not good?
Yeah, like this seems like the McDonald's pink goo scandal.
But that is how you make chicken nuggets.
Yeah, like the thing is, the pink goo scandal was not how they made chicken nuggets, and then McDonald's did like that video documentary of like, this is how we do it, and they just have like a wheelbarrow full of dead chickens. Everyone's like, just tell me it's the goo. Don't show me.
We don't need to see you like just obliterate chicken carcasses
you're just like,
into a
you're just
into
ending
a
an
paste.
entire chicken bloodline casually on a Wednesday for $9 an hour. This is like, they said that there's no tuna, but actually what happened is that there was no tuna detected. And it's like, how much are you helping your case here?
Well, I mean, I guess there's like a whole article and like with a lot of infographics and like, you know, they have experts apparently who weighed in. There's a Q&A.
Are the experts being paid by Dr. Mr. Subway?
Subway, Jared Subway in prison is orchestrating this whole
Dr.
thing.
Jared Subway.
I like Jared Subway. I think that's a good name. People
is
call him Subway Jared. I think Jared Subway is much funnier.
Yeah, I think the problem is people weren't trying to be funny in the Subway commercials in 2006, and that's why they're doing so bad now.
Yeah, they didn't understand that calling people by funny last names is good.
Yeah.
Oh, I've been all about this YouTube guy in the last day. You might have seen it in the Discord.
I've noticed.
But dude, Jeremy Fragrance, who's a guy, presumably his name's Jeremy, and he's really into fragrances. So he came up. His channel name is Jeremy Fragrance.
Yeah,
which I guess he's self-aware or just stupid, but looped into doing a smart. I don't know.
I think it's just funny,
dude. The guy's fucking weird. He uploads. He has an upload schedule of like a few times a day, and he's just going through bottles and bottles of fragrances and like recommending the same like 10 ones over and over again. And he talks about how he jacks off, but he doesn't like bust. So he has like power, and he's like not a bad looking guy, but he's like always bemoaning not having a girlfriend. And I'm like, buddy,
you should start busting.
Yeah, maybe that's the problem. You're not busting.
You gotta bust sometimes.
He's got a vaguely European accent. I can't really place where.
To quote my favorite song of all time, "Bustin' makes me feel good."
Yeah.
Anyway, Jeremy Fragrance,
Come on the
come on the
cast to
show.
defend yourself, or not. I'll recommend some fragrances, please.
Yeah, how do you feel about Eau De Toilette? Why are they all called that, by the way? Like
That's
every
like
single
a
one
real
says
thing. I don't
that.
know. I mean, that's like a type of fragrance. It's not like a
Yeah, I know it's not like the
yeah.
name of one, but like it does literally mean toilet water.
Well,
I guess it's like you spray it on in the bathroom, and that's
yeah,
where that comes from. Maybe,
yeah,
I don't know.
probably. He's a big fan of the Sauvage, the Dior Sauvage elixir or something. He recommends that one like every video, and I've watched quite a few at this point. I love just finding a freak on YouTube that gets like 20,000 views a video.
Yeah,
I mean, he's got like 1 million subscribers, but people are not tuning in to Jeremy Fragrance because I think he just uploads too fucking often.
well, you gotta put yourself out there. I think I'm understanding why you got the same autism score as our friend Ian Doug's-own.
Well, no.
No, I didn't watch 9 hours about Victoria's documentary.
I was working also while I was doing that, which I think is just a good use of my time.
Yep.
The current work trend is just listening to a guy's streams while he's playing Hollow Knight.
That's good.
And I just sit there and listen. And it's people
That's
asking
fine.
the same questions over and over. And
Yeah.
I'm like, I know the answer to that one.
It's Sauvage.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is a story that I've been reading up on. That I wanted to talk to you. Have you ever heard of Charles Murray? Charles Murray?
Murray.
Murray. No. Yeah, me neither. But he asked a question in 2015 that I think is relevant to the world. Why should blackmail be a crime?
What about white male, folks?
Yeah. What about
that's just a fucking bit from Ocean's 11.
I haven't seen it since it came out.
Oh, Bernie Mac is like he gets in trouble for something with like I think Matt Damon's character, but like it's all a ruse for the heist or whatever. And he's like talking about blackjack, and he's like, hey, it should be called crackerjack or something like that. I shouldn't have done the voice.
The comedian voice, as it's known.
Yeah. Well, I was just doing the line from the movie.
Yeah.
It's very funny. Man, Ocean's 11's a good movie. I should rewatch that. Anyway, what were you saying? I don't have ADHD. What are we talking about?
Yeah. To get into the ADHD for a second, this is a thing that I've held for a while, an opinion. People are like, you ever notice how Tuesday and the number 7 are the same thing, or whatever they say? You're
like 7 is a Tuesday kind of number.
Yeah, or like 5 times 5 equals 25 is the same as like November or whatever.
No, but I know like people are like, yeah, math is a red color. Who are you shushing?
That's my wife.
You're shushing your wife?
She's interrupting the show, isn't she?
That's not very feminist of you to shush your wife. Does she want to come on the cast? Just say something?
Probably not at the moment.
She could just be like,
do you want to come on the show and say something?
Yeah, get your wife on. This will be a big. This will get in a lot of people.
She's gesturing to her her ability to not come on the show.
I see. Yeah.
I need some preparation.
Okay, well, we're mid-show, so the preparation time is very limited. So this is what I wanted to talk about. So people will say that, right? And they'll make all these connections. They're just like, this just feels like it's the thing.
Yeah.
But then you'll be like, you ever notice how negative words like blackmail or black magic are like bad, and then there's like white lies. They're like, I don't really care about that, and they're like, language doesn't mean anything to anybody. I think it's just like a little subtle racism.
Well, no, I'm trying to think about this like intellectually, right? Because like I think that's an easy read, but like when did those phrasings even come into?
Yeah, the earlier they came in, the more racist it is, I think.
No, I think it loops back around if it comes in even earlier. Like if this is like fucking like dark age terminology, I don't think it's like if it's pre like colonial is like, you know, I guess British imperialism, right? It probably isn't racist.
Even if it was not originally racist, which I believe that they are, to some extent, I don't think that they're like, you know, the same as lynching someone.
No, I mean, of course not. Yeah, I mean,
but I think now the connotation does have a negative impact on the people who know the language.
But do they know the ledge?
No. You know who does? Pusha T. Anyway, that's too serious of a conversation for this. I wanted to talk about why should blackmail be a crime. Now I have two questions for you. Under what circumstances is blackmail appropriately defined as a crime?
Is there a correct answer to that?
No. Two, why should paying blackmail ever be a crime?
Paying blackmail? Like someone's blackmailing me and I pay them and that's a crime, theoretically.
Yeah.
Outside of it's like not actually blackmail and it's like set up fraudulently. For the second one, I don't know. If you're like, I mean, I can't really think of a good reason why that would be a crime.
Yeah.
And then the first question was,
under what circumstances is blackmail appropriately defined as a crime? So I'm going to get into this first.
Okay, yeah, because I'm just like, it's like forcing somebody to, you know, do something or pay something under threat of
exposure
or whatever.
Yeah. So blackmail is the offer of trade. It is the offer to trade something, usually silence, for some other good, usually money. If the offer of the trade is accepted, the blackmailer then maintains his silence and the blackmailee pays the agreed upon price. If the blackmail offer is rejected, the blackmailer may exercise his rights of free speech, as we all acknowledge, and publicize the secret. There is nothing amiss here. All that is happening is that an offer to maintain silence is being made. If the offer is rejected, the blackmailer does no more than exercise his right of free speech. What are your thoughts on that?
That's the legal definition. I mean, I guess is blackmail. I mean, it's a bad thing to do. Is it a crime?
It is. It is a crime. You can be charged with blackmail. So this is positing that it's a good thing to do.
Extortion. Yeah. Oh, I mean,
in addition to being a legitimate activity, blackmail has some good effects. Apart from some...
Yeah. Okay. That's like, you know, it's like being like, you know, an Italian guy and be like, yeah, it's good. People pay me security money every month
protection.
For protection. And that it's good that they need protection from me.
Yeah.
And and I'm exercising my right to make money.
Suicide, while legitimate, has some great effects. Hitler killed himself. Think about that. So all these people that you're sad that they killed themselves, think about Hitler, and then maybe it's not so bad.
I'm sure a lot of people who killed themselves, it's like, yeah, it's probably
for the best.
Yeah.
Interesting take. Apart from some innocent...
probably my worst take.
Yeah. Apart from some innocent victims who are caught in the net, whom does the blackmailer usually prey upon? There are two groups. One group is composed of criminals, murderers, thieves, swindlers, embezzlers, cheaters, rapists, etc. If you're blackmailing someone who is a rapist or a murderer, maybe just report that to the police. Like,
Yeah. Right, yeah.
like, give me $8,000 or I will tell the police that you raped a woman. It's like,
Is the rape of one woman worth $8,000? I don't know.
depends how desperate this rapist is, I guess.
Well,
In the case of criminals, blackmail and the threat of blackmail serves as a deterrent. They add to the risks involved in criminal activity.
no, going to jail is a deterrent.
I don't know
No,
anyone who's
no.
like, I would love to kill somebody, but I might be blackmailed about it, so maybe I won't.
I mean, if you think about it, going to prison is kind of the ultimate blackmail.
How many of the anonymous tips received by the police, the value of which cannot be overestimated, can be traced directly or indirectly to blackmail? How many criminals are led to pursue crime on their own, eschewing the aid of fellow criminals in jobs that call for cooperation out of the fear of possible blackmail? I don't know, like, any cases of that. Finally, there are those individuals who are on the verge of committing crimes, where the least factor will propel them one way or another. The additional fear of blackmail may be enough in some cases to dissuade them from crime. If blackmail itself were legalized, it would undoubtedly be an even more effective deterrent. Legalization would undoubtedly, again, result in an increase in blackmail with attendant depredations upon the criminal class.
Who wrote this?
This is written by
John Blackmail.
Dr. John Blackmail. That's correct. This is written by Mark Perry. But this is an idea posited by Charles Murray. Let's remember that.
Yeah.
In reflecting on the old aphorism, the truth shall make you free, not really how that phrase goes. The only weapon at the disposal of the blackmailer is the truth. In using the truth to back up his threats, as on occasion he must, he sets the truth free, very often without intent to do whatever good or bad it is capable of doing. So this is when I tried to look up a crime for this week, I came upon this article where this guy, he's just a blackmailer, right? Like,
yeah. the guy is like, currently on trial for blackmail, and I need to just
let me write this very long article about why blackmail should be legal and is good.
I mean, he makes some good points. It really is just a trade.
It is a trade. But so is sex trafficking. That's just an offer of a trade.
Well, I have a lot to consider.
You're pro sex trafficking.
No.
Yeah.
Pro sex work.
Yep. There is a long section that I skipped wherein
it's the same as blackmail.
He compared the difference between a blackmailer and just someone who gossips a lot. And it's like, really? Gossip's kind of worse.
I mean, yeah. I think I kind of agree.
He says that gossip does not give the blackmailee a chance to silence them. If you're just going around at the hair salon talking about your son's boyfriend's piss kink.
Wow, that was... Where did you pull that from?
It's in the article.
Is it?
Yep.
No, totally. I don't think it is. I think
okay. If you're just in the hair salon talking about your niece's bachelorette.
Okay. All right, nice redirection. Got it.
You're not giving your niece.
Did your wife even react when you said that?
No, I think she is reading TikTok comments. No. What are you doing?
I'm playing Super Auto
She's playing video games on her telephone.
Oh, what game is she playing?
Super Auto Pets. Maybe you've heard of it.
I have heard of it, actually. I was on that stream I was watching or listening to. The guy was talking about Super Auto Pets for a little bit. I was like, hey, I know that, sort of. I've heard of it.
It's a good game. It's emojis.
No.
Yeah. So that's my crime for this week is why do they make it illegal to blackmail people? It's not
Your
like,
crime.
you know,
You literally just picked a crime, not like something somebody did, but like the general concept of a crime.
well, 2 weeks ago, I also did. What did I do? It was the crime of.
Yeah, it wasn't even like a. I don't even remember.
Oh, I did the law where they were banning transgender athletes in high schools in Utah.
True. That's true. That's pretty true.
That's pretty true.
So true. That's true. My crime is Ezra Miller. The crime.
Heard of him?
Heard of
Black.
him. I think you mean heard of them. The crime being non-binary. And
It's good.
assaulting women.
Shouldn't be illegal. Much like blackmail, being non-binary shouldn't be illegal.
That's my stance. Yeah, it's that it is illegal and it shouldn't be.
Yep.
Yeah, that's my stance. My mom. We talked about this last week, but because that episode's not being released, I feel like I should.
The lost episode.
We can
rehash a little bit.
We can rehash a little bit of it for the audience because it's relevant now because we both talked about it. So this is for their sake. But as you know, my mom is very transphobic.
Quite.
Yeah,
Heard.
You've heard. You also heard. To recap the story for the audience. This is so stupid. Me and the sweetie were getting brunch with my mom because she was in town, and I figured, sure, we can get it for my birthday weekend.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. And the Discord waited till the last second to wish me happy birthday. Let the record show.
Well, you don't tell people. The only person who knows your birthday almost never interacts.
Yeah. All right.
Like, I knew your birthday because...
Well, it's like I'm friends with people on Facebook. It's just that none of them are in the Discord anymore.
Yeah.
I
only knew because
made a
the only thing that you said was like, I can't believe it's my birthday in 2 months or something. And that was 2 months ago.
Yeah.
So I remember that. And then you talked about it on an episode of the show that I was not on with our close personal friend, King Curtis.
King Curtis. Shout out King Curtis. Get King Curtis back on the cast.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. What was it? Oh, yeah. So we're having brunch, and my mom was asking me about various friends from high school and like what they're up to,
Mm-hmm.
Well, really K through 12, and she was like, oh, how's so-and-so? I'm like, oh, well, so-and-so is a woman now, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
She's a she, they. So,
yeah.
But I don't know on which of those two pronouns has more weight. You know what I mean?
What takes precedence?
Yeah. Is it the she or they? Like, which one would you be more offended by if I called you,
Yeah.
And then my mom went on a little, she's like, well, you can't just be a woman. I'm like, yeah, sure.
How you gonna be a woman? I think that's the problem, is that it should be illegal.
Being a woman.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, so that was fun.
Nobody should do it. Yeah.
Who's to say?
As I said last week, your mom's the bad boy.
My mom she's kind of the bad boy. Is she more bad boy than them Ezra Miller? Who's to say? They call myself, they are beating a lot of women.
Seems bad.
It's fun. It's funny though for people to be like, "Wow, it's bad that Ezra Miller, as a man, is running around Hawaii just attacking women like it's GTA." And then it's funny for people to like the hang up. There's like, "Well, Ezra Miller's a they them." It's like, okay, but like that's not the. What are we doing?
Yeah,
But respect pronouns.
I think the problem
even if you're
is
running around beating women, which is admittedly kind of funny just to run around and like well, hold on. Hold on. The mental image of somebody like just running around and punching people is always going to be funny. Much like bonking somebody on the head with those Russian boys bonking, or I guess were they Ukrainian? I don't remember. Those kids just bonking people on the head with hammers and killing them in isolation. That's kind of funny. That's a funny way of going about
I think
your
it's
business.
funny because you're saying the word bonking, but if you watch the video, it's very dramatic.
Well, that's why I have just this mental image. The mental image in my head is
you're imagining
Ezra Miller
Kirby with his little hammer, and you're like, yeah, I did that.
Yeah, that's how I beat Kirby in the Forgotten Land, which is a good game.
Yeah, it is a good
Although
game.
we haven't beaten the post game yet. It's pretty extensive.
But I did start it. Yeah. As much as I ranted about it.
There's still more content. You gotta save Leo's soul, or Leon's soul, the lion.
Lionel. Yeah, why not? Why not?
Take a crazy chance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
why not do a crazy dance? It's for the Hillary Duff fan.
Some real music heads out there.
Yeah, well, you know me. I'm a big music guy. I love music.
Yep.
Love like one type of music.
You should get into music instead of YouTube rabbit holes. I think it might be better for your brain.
No, I don't like music.
That's why I said you should get into it.
No, I can't. It's like I have to. I don't know. I'll watch music videos, but that just ends up being a YouTube rabbit hole of me watching music videos and being like, yeah, I don't really like the music part that much. But, I mean, how great's Twice, though, folks?
So great.
So great.
I don't know. Listen to my new album that doesn't exist yet, and maybe never will, but it might.
Well, if it comes out, listen to it. I listen to all your music.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Excuse me.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. There's all those nitrogen bubbles in my tummy.
Is that what nitro stands for?
Yeah. Discord nitrogen, folks.
It's pretty sick, actually.
It's a very clean. I highly recommend it. Not an ad, just a fan, folks. Purchase Nitro Pepsi at your local grocery store. Serve it cold.
Won't. I do
Chill
not.
A glass.
I do not partake in Pepsi because it was not made by a doctor but a pharmacist. So I don't drink Brad's drink. I'm sorry.
That's ableist of you. I love Brad's drink. I can't get enough
Brad's
of
drink nitro. No, thank you.
I can't get enough of Brad's drink. I slurp that up. You know what I'm saying? You saw.
Yeah, I did saw.
Yeah, you saw a very intimate moment with me and Brad's drink.
Brad's drink a little too foamy for my taste.
Oh,
a lot of
it really dribbled out. It was really frothy. I had to lick it all up. This is some evil ASMR.
Are you curious about the next two questions from our Blackmail defendant?
Oh, we're going back? Sure, yeah, why not?
This is a new thing. Not new, I guess. This was written in 2015. But the next thing that he was asking about is a teaser into the next article.
More like farticle.
Nice, dude. Two questions. Under what circumstances should making cash withdrawals of just under $10,000, in parentheses, or over $10,000, from your own bank account be appropriately defined as a crime? I think you really fell off from the blackmail thing.
Yeah. So is this guy's existence, Dr. John Blackmail, is he just like a guy who commits crimes and then is like writing blog posts about why they shouldn't be crimes?
He
How did you
wrote
find this?
I googled funny blackmail crimes.
The tried and true method. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm more of a funny murder kind of guy.
Yeah.
Funny dudes.
If I didn't find anything, I was gonna do funny blackmail in 1998.
Daniel's
so-
dad.
Yeah.
1976. Shout out.
This is a book from 1976, Defending the Undefendable.
This guy wrote a book.
Makes the case that legalizing blackmail would generate benefits for society, including serving as a deterrent to criminal activity.
It's the same arguments that people make about legalizing weed, and it's like, just admit you want to do weed, and that's the only reason why you're even coming up with arguments in the first. That's fine. Smoke weed. I don't give a fuck. But just don't be like, well, actually, it'd be beneficial if the government taxed the weed. It's like, shut up. You just want to smoke weed.
Well, I was always pro. Sorry, my wife is.
Yeah,
You
your
wanna
wife.
cross the frame. That's fine. Okay.
Do I need to
no,
avert my eyes? Do I need to like?
No, you're fine. You're
Okay.
fine.
I can do this.
That I don't know if that helps.
See, I can't see anything.
Yeah, I'm not sure that's how visuals work.
Yeah, it was. I couldn't see. I mean, I like literally turned my laptop the other way.
Yeah, I couldn't see you is what happened. So I don't know what's going on.
Or I could do this.
She's already left the room.
Oh.
So
So it worked. I didn't see.
it worked. Yeah, so this is a pretty steep fall from blackmail should be legal to under what circumstances should a cash withdrawal of under $10,000 be illegal? Question 2, why should making cash withdrawals of any amount from your own bank account ever be a crime?
Is it a crime to withdraw? I mean, I don't know if it's necessarily a crime. I know you will get looked at if you do it.
It flags it in the system.
But it's not a crime.
Yeah, I don't think that it is. But this was, I think, a book written in 1976. So
I think it's a crime to like consistently take out cash withdrawals of under that amount to like get around that. I think that's a crime. I don't know what the crime is, but I know that's bad.
Avoision.
Yep. That's the word. It's like avoidance and evasion rolled up into one. Avoision.
Yeah. It's
a real crime.
It's a good word.
It's a word. Actually, it's not even a word at all. It's
but
nothing.
I almost had you.
Yeah. I'm on my A game. I had that nitro.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Nice little treat.
Yeah.
Blackmail should be legal. In the article, I lost it now, but I did want to say that it points out blackmail does lead to a lot of people killing themselves, but that's, you can't make an omelet without breaking a few eggs.
Iron sharpens iron. I've said that many times.
Yeah.
Do I sound like not congested? I feel really not congested.
You sound totally fine.
I feel like it's been a while since I've sounded fine.
Mm-hmm. Last week you sounded pretty congested.
Yeah. It took a while for me to come off that fucking cold.
Yeah.
And I fucked up my back on Sunday. I sat weird in a chair for 10 minutes. And then my back was in excruciating pain for 2.5 days.
That happens.
That's getting old.
Your birthday for you.
Or serious. I mean, I was Tuesday I came home from work to eat lunch, and I didn't even sit. I was standing because sitting hurt, and I was like, I might just not go back to the office.
Yeah. That's, sometimes you need that.
I mean, I did, but
it's a legitimate reason too.
Yeah.
Sometimes I don't go back to the office, and it's not a legitimate reason.
You're like, I don't fucking want to work. I'm familiar. The office. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I'm in an office now, basically. I have my
Oh,
own
you're
little
in
area.
the office within the box factory.
I have my own little area.
You have a desk, little cube.
I have a
table.
I have a chair. I have a chair.
Yeah. Is
I
this
think-
is this still the thing where you're like up on high and you're hitting
Mhm.
buttons or whatever?
I'm hitting buttons. So it's not really a table, but it is a surface that I put my crossword book on. So
No, you do crosswords.
yeah.
Do you
I'm
have your phone
not
up
supposed to. No, I'm not allowed my phone. So I have an analog book, if you can believe that.
Oof.
Um,
Hate the analog. Actually, no, I love analog books. I don't
Yeah.
read them, but I do like them.
no, I don't know if I would say I read it. I draw
You do
letters into it. I do it. And
Yeah,
then
crossword
they will
puzzle?
yell at me over the radio.
You draw. Oh, yeah, I thought you said draw numbers. I'm just stupid.
Yeah, letters.
Letters aren't numbers. You're right. You're right. Unless in algebra, sometimes they are. Think about that.
What
Who do you think
was
Matt Gay
Ariel's
Ultra
favorite?
is?
I think that it's Doug.
Really?
If it was Doug, what are you gonna do? That's a judo move. It's like you can't be mad at me for making fun of you for making fun of me.
I mean that would be the ideal scenario, but I don't think
It's like
Doug.
when it's like when Prince made his album cover Dave Chappelle dressed
Yeah.
as Prince. And you're like, yeah, that's what are you gonna do? So I think that it's Doug in my heart.
Well, I know who I think it is.
It's me.
Yeah.
Would be nice.
Wouldn't it? Yeah.
No, it's not me. I will
Well-
go on record. I do a little bit of like hinting that it's me to play into it, but going on record is not me. So I don't know how you feel about that, but them's the breaks. The real question is,
Is it me? No.
might be you.
Yeah, it's not. I am
Might
too
be-
lazy.
Might be Big Nicky.
No.
It might be Isaac.
Who is Twitter handle at Poopy Skittles?
I don't know.
Well, you follow them,
It's true. I
and you
follow
know
a
who
lot of
else
people.
follows them.
I don't know.
Matt Gay Ultra follows them as well.
It's interesting.
Isn't it? Yeah. Much to consider, isn't
Much
there?
to consider.
Interesting.
We'll talk. Anyway,
Anyways,
that's the episode. We have
Isn't it-
5-ish minutes.
you want to talk about Everything Everywhere All at Once,
Oh yeah.
We
I
can
did
talk
watch
about that
that
and
film.
and then bring it in for a landing, and then maybe you could edit out a part later
That's fine.
if you want. I don't care.
That's fine.
We'll
All
talk about it. We'll talk about it after.
We'll talk about it.
We'll talk about it.
Yeah, I did watch that movie.
Yeah.
And I personally loved it, and like might be one of my top 10 movies. And I know you feel differently.
I think overall I liked it. But it wasn't like across the board I liked everything a little bit. It was like there's some parts I really liked and other parts that really bugged me. I don't know how to really talk about it without spoiling.
Yeah.
So if you haven't seen the movie, just stop listening to the episode. It's late enough that you can just stop. You got all the content that you came here for. So this is your spoiler warning for
Our first one.
Yeah, sure. Our first spoiler warning for Everything Everywhere All at Once. Turn back now. Go see it. I mean, I didn't love it, but I think you should see it. It's interesting.
Great movie.
It's very interesting. And it's, you know, if you're into multiverse shit because you're a fucking stupid little Marvel person, hey, there's multiverse shit in this movie.
Yeah,
which isn't
I'm
a
into
spoiler.
it, and I am not a Marvel.
There's something for everyone in this film. If you liked Turning Red, you might even like this movie, which I'll get into that. But yeah, that's your spoiler warning. So, okay. I hated the daughter who ends up, of course, again, spoiler warning, please turn back now, being the main villain, kind of.
I saw that coming very quickly.
I did as well. But, you know.
As soon as they were like, there's a villain in this movie, I was like, yeah, okay. It's the daughter.
Well, for me, I was like, all the marketing stuff had nothing, like the daughter was not present in any of the trailers I saw. Like, cause not that I was seeking out trailers, but it would just, I would see trailers because I go to the movies. And so I was like, okay, like that's weird that they didn't show the daughter in any of this at all. That's odd. And then I was like, okay, got it. Yeah. As soon as they're like, there's a bad guy, I'm like, oh, it's her.
Yeah.
It's her daughter.
Yeah. Named Joy, which
is ironic because she was not very joyful.
It's true. Yeah. Naming the villain Joy, and then also the whole movie's about finding joy.
It is in many ways finding joy.
It's my knee.
You can stub a knee? She stubbed her knee.
I'm in pain. Don't make fun of me.
I'm sorry. I'm on right now.
I know.
Does your wife have any thoughts about them? Did your wife see the movie?
My wife did see the movie.
Did she like it?
Yeah. What did you think of Everything Everywhere All at Once?
It's grown on me. It's grown on me.
Oh, there we go.
It's grown on her.
So okay, well, whatever. That wasn't. I didn't mean that to sound dismissive. I didn't mean. I was. You know, I'm thinking of Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Don't worry about it.
You have something to say? Okay. I'm not worrying about it.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, you ever just think, hey, maybe don't fucking worry about it? Because that's what I do.
I think about that all the time.
Yeah, but I don't think you're capable of it. Whereas I very much am, because I'm very Eastern. Much like the movie. I'm just kidding. Kind of. Not really. It is. Well, okay, so this is how my brain works, which is, I imagine, very difficult for people to like keep up with.
How it doesn't work.
Very dysfunctional. So the Turning Red thing, it's very much a story of the mom and daughter kind of having
falling out
and then reconciling at the end of the movie. Only this time it's told from the perspective of the mom. And although I would go as far to say that the mom in Turning Red was not that bad. You know, she was overbearing, but I don't think she was like...
Well, she was trying to save her daughter from like if your child could turn into a giant red panda, you'd be like, oh, this is going to cause problems in society. Like this will,
like for my daughter and also like everybody. Like,
this is going to disrupt Earth.
Yeah.
If like this gets out.
Yeah. We need to,
which it didn't. A little bit of magical realism.
How great is just calling things magical realism? There's a lot of magical realism in this movie too, if you think about it.
Yeah. Similarly, instead of transforming into a red panda, it's transforming into Everything Everywhere All at Once, and same story.
Similar beats, but like I found Joy to be very unlikable, which is kind of the point.
Yeah,
I think.
I also find Joy unlikable, which is why I don't seek it anymore.
Okay, all right. I thought the fight scenes were pretty good,
Mm-hmm.
which is to be expected. That's like kind of half the point of the movie,
Yeah.
Because how great's Michelle?
10 out of 10.
She rules. Also, Jenny Slate. Oof.
Yeah.
She was in this movie, and I was like,
Oh,
all right.
yeah, she was. I was like
I
I remember
she was in
not
like two
recognizing
or
her
three
for a
scenes.
minute.
Yeah.
And I was like, is that Jenny Slate? And
I was like, dang. She's married to Chris Evans, right?
sure. That sounds right.
Sure. Good for them. That's
it's
great.
funny that she was Big Nose when she's in Big Mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. A little bit
Think about
of
that.
subtle nod.
It's funny shit. Big Nose. Because, yeah. I hope in the credits her character name was Big Nose and not whatever her name actually was. That would be
It
funny.
probably was. I didn't look.
I didn't look either because I wasn't paying much attention at that point. Because there wasn't going to be a mid-credit scene that I had to stick around for the sequel and the Michelle verse. So how great was Waymond?
Waymond, again, like Turning Red.
The dad's the best character. It's the same movie.
Yeah.
Although instead of turning into a red panda, the daughter has the ability to turns into be everywhere and can do anything and just has multiverse magic stuff. Which it's like there's I like the fight scenes and I like the scenes where in the second half of the movie when I guess Evelyn is Michelle. What's her last name? Yo, I don't know how to pronounce
Michelle Yeoh.
Yeah,
Evelyn Wang.
Evelyn has the power. She gets the powers to do everything the daughter can do, but I think the daughter is better at it.
Yeah.
Because she can explode people into confetti and literally just do anything.
Yeah.
Whereas Michelle's powers are just jumping around to different. She starts out jumping around to the different multiverses and borrowing her other self's skills. And then ends up being
magical realism, and Joy is fantasy.
That is true. Yeah. Because in the second half of the movie, she has the power of being in all of her multiverses at the same time, kind of coexisting within all of them, which sounds very draining and confusing. But I liked the part where she would be having different conversations in the second half of the movie where it was just guys talking.
Yeah.
And it wasn't necessarily about the daughter. When she was in her, basically when Evelyn was in the Michelle, IRL Michelle universe kind of as a movie star.
Michelle Prime.
Right. Yeah. And her talking to Waymond, I like those conversations. I thought those were great because I think Waymond's great. He's the best character. He's just a cool guy. He's just a funny little dude.
It's true. It's pretty true.
It's so true. That's pretty true. I think that's pretty
so
true.
True. King.
So true. But the also I thought the pacing of the movie was a little whack. It felt long by the end of it. Because when they said part 2, I was like, oh Jesus.
Yeah. I think they put a lot of effort into doing the fake ending.
But I didn't buy it because I was like, I remembered the part 1 and there was never a part 2. So I'm like,
there was a split second where I was like, is this going to be a trilogy? There's no way.
Yeah.
This is not Dune.
Yeah. This isn't Marvel.
Because I went in knowing literally nothing except that it was an A24 film. I don't know anything about this movie.
Well, I knew some things because I was I'm waiting for I would be waiting for certain Michelles to pop up, from different verses that I remember seeing in the trailers that I hadn't seen before. And in the trailer, they had the scene of her putting the googly eye on her forehead. So I was like, well, that hasn't happened yet. So I'm which I hate. I hate that trailers not even meta analysis, just remembering a trailer will ruin. Not even ruin, but you know what I mean. It takes some of the wind out of the different beats of the movie.
Which is why I don't watch trailers.
I think didn't the director cast himself in the movie?
Quentin Tarantino?
No.
I don't know anything about that. I will, while you look that up, I'll go into my problem with the movie. I'd say it's one of my favorite.
Wait, Randy Newman was actually in the movie? Well, I guess did they have Randy Newman actually singing in that Ratatouille
Perhaps.
parody? That's fucking... Oh, wow.
Ratatouille.
Yeah, Jenny Slate's character is listed as Big Nose. That
Hell
is
yeah.
wild.
That's good.
That is so fucking funny.
Yeah.
Daniel...
I'll go into my problem with the movie. There's no... Now, this is going to be a weird critique. There's no sincerity that allowed itself to be serious. Because I really like the movie.
Yeah.
And it would get like these emotional scenes, and it would like prime you to be like, this is the emotional crux of the film. You're going to cry like it's Wall-E. And then like 2 seconds later, there would be like a dick joke or something. And you're like, okay.
And to circle back on the dick jokes, so the guy who directed the movie, Daniel, well, I guess one of the directors, but Daniel...
Two Daniels.
Shiner, yeah.
The Tale of Two Daniels.
The Tale of Two Daniels. How two of those Daniels were there?
100%.
So he was cast as the guy who had like the secret like BDSM closet. Mm-hmm. He cast himself as that guy, and also there's just a lot of like weird sex shit in the movie.
Yeah,
like not that it was sexual, but like a lot of weird like dildo gags.
Yeah, it was
and
like
the whole butt plug fight scene thing, which saying that sounds insane, but that happens.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't fucking like that. Like, clearly this dude was just like, I'm going to put some of my fetishes in the movie and like, fuck you. I'm doing that. And not in a way that Quentin Tarantino does it, where it's like, it doesn't loop back around to being cool, but I'm like, I don't like this.
I think the difference is like Quentin Tarantino movies are horny for him.
Yeah.
In a way that he will like get off to.
Yeah.
And this movie is horny for fun. And I think it's different.
I mean, it's horny for fun. I also think it's a little horny for the guy making it, but like it was horny for him, like being in the movie versus like I don't think he can look back at that movie except for the scene where like, I think Evelyn smacks his booty, kind of doms him a little bit. Like other than that, it's just it's like that only exists to like jack himself off. Like Quentin Tarantino puts feet shit in his movie, but like you can kind of ignore it. He's not there like literally eating a foot.
Yeah, except the one movie where he is.
Yeah. For the most part, though, he doesn't.
The only one that Tarantino did that's like unavoidable, other than Selma Hayek literally putting her foot in his mouth, was Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yeah,
that one. That's a little.
She got her dirty ass feet out in the theater, man.
Yeah,
Sharon Tate put those away.
There was no reason for that. Other than that, he's mostly fine.
Yeah, but I did not like. And it's weird because like, how Marvel does the thing where it like will do a quip to like deflate any dramatic tension or emotional whatever. This was the same thing, but instead of it being a quip, it was like a silly, stupid gag.
Yeah,
like, it was very silly. And when the movie wasn't doing the fight scenes, and it wasn't having those like interesting multiverse like 3 conversations happening at once across different universe type things. Yeah, I was like, not into the movie, but I really liked the parts that the other 2 parts. I really like 2 types of scenes in the movie. I thought those were really great, but there's so much other shit that I was like, I don't care at this point. Like this movie's fucking long. I don't give a shit about this.
I
hate the daughter.
I just wish that they had like one moment that they just let be a serious, sincere.
They kind of did at the end a little.
for like an extra 3 seconds, but then they did. I forget what they did.
They had raccoon.
Yeah, they had
Ratatouille.
Ratatouille, and they like the final conversation. I also think the movie would have been better if Joy went into the bagel.
Yeah, I fucking hated Joy. I was like, I hope she dies.
Like, it was a very like I don't want to say like, okay, I'll say dramatic thing where she's just like, I'm going in. Her mother like gives her up, and then the rock falls down the cliff, and you're like, she's
That's
dead.
it. Yeah,
bitch is dead. And then you're like,
the Rock being Joy in the Rock universe.
Yeah, not John Dwayneson as his friends call him. Yeah, when the Rock Joy falls off the cliff, you're like, that symbolizes, jumping off the cliff. She's dead. Very cool. And like 2 seconds later, it felt like a Marvel movie where it's just like nobody's allowed to die.
Yeah,
like Loki dies and then they bring him back, and then he dies and then they bring him back, and you're like, okay, cool. Just like have some emotional stakes in this. Like, this isn't setting up a sequel. This is it. This is all you get. Have some emotional stakes.
I mean, I think ultimately though they wanted the happy ending to be like nihilism. It's because the whole core conceit of the movie it's nihilism and the nothing matters and that sucks, and then versus the nothing matters and that's great because you can just do whatever you want, and
so it doesn't matter that nothing matters.
Yeah, exactly. You make up what matters, and like again, Wayman, the husband, being like, just be nice to people.
Yeah,
and I like that.
Yeah.
Again, I really like the conversations that happened in the movie universe. Those I thought were like the best parts of the whole movie. Yeah,
I feel like I think it's Marvel's fault that
it's Marvel's fault that this movie exists at all.
Yeah, absolutely. But I feel like it's Marvel's fault that movies are afraid to do a sad ending now.
Yeah.
Like Soul, the Pixar movie Soul is another one where like
they should just let him go into the.
They should have let like the point of the movie up
is
to that point is like you only get one life. You can't just fuck it up and fuck around and become a high school music teacher. Like you have to live.
Well, I don't know if that was the point. I think it was like your life affects like, people in positive ways that you don't necessarily.
But it was also like, he's wasted most of his life, and like his family's disappointed in him, and he's always wanted to be like a real musician, but he's never put himself out there.
Yeah.
And like, in my opinion, it's like you could die at any. You could fall down a sewer.
Yeah.
Crossing the street, you could get hit by a car. Like anything can happen. So you have to make use of the time that you have. And then at the end of the movie, they're just like, surprise, you're back on Earth and everything's fine. And I was like, but I think that's sending the wrong message.
Yeah.
And like,
well, I think Luca's the only movie of this kind of genre where it ends, I wouldn't say sad, but bittersweet, because like he goes off to school, he leaves his friend, and like he also leaves his parent. Like he's like, I ain't gonna stay in the ocean, and I'm gonna go to school and get some book learning.
Yeah.
So he does have to kind of leave a lot of stuff behind, and that was like a bittersweet ending. So honestly, props to Luca for like.
Luca's great.
Luca is great. For actually doing that. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I think it would have been too dour if like if they just killed off Joy, and then Evelyn's like, well, I guess that's it, and then just I'm gonna still do the laundry stuff.
Well, she can do anything, right?
I know, but I think
that for a movie this absurd and off the wall, it's afraid to take the risk of having a sincere saccharine moment, to quote Tom Farah.
Yeah. I mean, what is the movie really up to,
That's true.
Yeah, that's pretty true. That's true. That's so true.
So true. Yeah, it's like I know that it's weird to say that it's not taking risks, because it is. For
But
the kind of movie that
it
it is.
kind
But
of
it's like,
also isn't, because a lot of it's like surface level weird.
yeah,
At least a lot of like the fight scenes involving like the different powers from different places. That's like weird, but it's all like surface level weird. That's not hard to follow really, or like particularly interesting. It's just weird for the sake of it being silly. Which I mean, granted, it's funny at times. It's not like
I think it's a very funny movie.
Now the people in the theater I was with thought it was a lot funnier than I did.
Yeah.
But I think I'm a tough audience.
My wife's gonna love that you said that.
Because like people were hooting and hollering, I was like smiling sometimes, but this is reasonable beef. It was.
How many times have we said this is reasonable beef?
I think it's funny for me. I don't know if anybody else likes it. I'm going to assume nobody else.
I don't know. I've never listened to the show, so
I mean, we kind of get into this is reasonable beef. This is an episode of Reasonable Beef that they would have done if they had it, and we both were smarter about movies.
Yeah,
not too much smarter though.
No.
Mm-hmm. What else? Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like it was too long for what it was. I think part one dragged on a little longer. Like the whole, they could have gotten to the real twist, which was Joy was not trying to kill Evelyn and like wanted to bring her up to her power level, so to speak. They could have gotten to that faster, because like it ends up being convoluted that like, oh, there's the Alpha Universe people who are trying to stop Multiverse Joy from killing all the Multiverse Evelyns and also just ruining everything for everyone. Which they still like, which is still good. They could have, because then eventually the Alpha people pivot to trying to stop Evelyn for trying to not kill Multiverse Joy. And it ends up being just everyone on both sides are fighting Evelyn. And it's like convoluted in a way that like doesn't really add anything, in my opinion. I don't know. It's fine. I think overall I liked it more than I disliked it, but
I loved it.
It was too horny for what it was.
I think it was fine.
Well,
that's the episode, folks.
Yeah, go watch it. If you didn't listen to our spoiler warning, I think you could still watch the movie and enjoy it, because it's not
there's
really
a lot going
movie.
on.
It's visually often visually interesting.
Visually great. The lighting is very cool.
Yeah, there's a lot of interesting
editing
stuff.
is like sick as hell.
Yeah, often the editing's pretty fucking cool.
The costume work.
Did you like the first half or the second half of the movie better?
I
guess part one or part two. I don't know if they're
probably part two.
Yeah,
they were both great. I think the costume work, particularly for Joy, was like every time she was on screen, it was just like she was from like a No Doubt music video or something.
Yeah. I go back and forth on if I liked her weird costumes or not.
I like that they like didn't really acknowledge it. It was just like, yeah, if you could do anything, why wouldn't you dress like this?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you be a hard?
And also, she seemed like the kind of person that would do that. You know what I mean? I don't like Joy very much.
It's because she's a lesbian, folks, and that's the episode.
No.
Good night. Good night.
No.
Good night.
Good night.